Hey y'all, it's Steve, Hobo with Wood, coming at you with a product demo. Those of you who have been watching the channel from early on have known I have struggled with my diode and been looking for alternatives. I stepped up and got a larger CO2, but gonna need that diode. Gonna need a smaller diode, something that's gonna be dependable, quality, and a step above what I had. So I got me a Comgo Z1. This one's a 10 watt. And I have been working with it, playing with it. This video is going to be showing you the assembly process. It's a little more involved than some of the lasers out there, but it's because it has more features. So this is going to be a complete assembly process. Prior to putting this together, I did not watch any YouTube videos. I only went with the instruction manuals that they had provided, and sometimes got a little challenging, but if you've got this video and you watched it before you start your assembly, it may save you some headaches. So let's go do this. So what I have here is the Comgrow Z1 and the Comgrow Air Assist. Now from previous assemblies and other lasers, I learned make sure I got all my Air Assist stuff on first before I install my laser module. It looks like the Comgrow Z or the Comgrow Air Assist, which does not come with the laser, it is a separate piece. It is packed with enough installation pieces that it fits multiple laser heads. The Z1 5 watt, the Z1 10 watt, the 10 watt, and then the X-Tool 5 and 10 watt. All of these lasers will work with this air assist. So first thing you got to do is figure out what you need and what you don't need. And I will put a copy of this on the screen so you can see just how confusing this is. The top portion says it's for the Z1 5 watt laser, and it shows you everything that you need for the 5 watt. Then the next section is the Z1 10 watt. But the top half of that is the exact same thing as the 5 watt, and in the bottom part looks like it's actually for the 10 watt. And then the lower half is for the X-Tool. Anything that's X-Tool related, I'm getting rid of. We don't need. So this bracket we don't need. This is for the 5 watt. We don't need. Okay, so for the 10 watt Z1, now your shield is just a magnetic shield that comes on it, so it just slides out of the way. You got a dust lens on there to protect your actual laser lens, and your funnel, your nozzle, your blowhead as they call it. This is the 38 millimeter blowhead that will go on here. You have a small little set screw that I'm going to drop 1,000 times before I get it started. We're going to need to get that in the blowhead. I do not like these designs. This design is not that different than the X-Tool air assist, and it is horrible. So I have reservations about the quality of, or the effectiveness of this tool, but we'll see. So let's get this started. Well, you know, first try. Okay. You want to make sure that that's flat against the laser head, because air leaks are your worst enemy when it comes to air assist, and this has got no gasket, no sealing ring, no nothing, so it's going to leak. So you want to get it as flat and as flush as you can to begin with. And then please tighten the screw. You don't want to over tighten that because that's going into plastic. So it's a set screw and it's a little, 0.5 millimeter Allen head, so you're not putting a lot of torque on there. So tighten the set screw. You've got these are problematic. Now there, it got tight before this was back to a full 90, but this piece will rotate on that hex. So once you get that tight where you want it, you can spin that piece around to get her in a vertical position. Now that set screw screws into the dust lens, so you can actually take and turn that whole thing off right now because it's going to twist the lens cover off. So want to be careful of that. Get that in the right position. It's going to go up here. That's for you to route your air hose through. Let's see. All right, so you take your two top screws out on the, looking at it, the right side of the laser module. Take those out of the clear plexiglass on the top. Reinsert the same screws to hold that piece in place, and it looks like you are done with the module for your air assist. And this is going into some either very, very fine threads and metal or possibly plastic, so you do not need to over torque these. You just get them snug, just get them tight. The size of the tool tells you that you don't need to be torquing on them much. Okay, so that is that. These instruction manuals are notoriously horrible. Words you have to think about the intent because they're used in a way that is not typically they're not typically used in the English language as the way they're using them here. But if you think about it for a second, you can figure it out. Fortunately, everything's packed really nice and labeled very well, so you know. Like here, there's steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the packages are labeled with step 1, step 2. So you know, even though the instructions may not make a lot of sense, you know which hardware is supposed to go, and you can figure it out. All right, so let's start here. It says, and this is an example. Take out all 4 profiles and use 4 M5 by 25 screws for fixing to complete the gantry installation. So take out all 4 profiles. So take out all 4 sides. So you've got 1 and I've got to figure out it. They don't tell you which is which, and I have not looked at any other videos or any other instructions. I'm starting here because this is what they provide you with. So all right. Which one is the side? Which one is the back? All right, so you're going to have this has got your stop switch. So that most likely is a side piece. Your gantry is going to have the other stop switch, so that's going to be your X stop switch, so that's Y. So I'm guessing she goes something like that. Or is it? This one has no markings on it, and this one does. Which side where does the switch need to be? Don't know. Alright, so this profile, this side rail, it has a stop switch on it, which I am so thankful it has a stop switch, homing switch, limit switch. It's got a limit switch on it. But it is not referenced in the installation manuals anywhere in the description, in the photos, so I don't know where to orient these when I'm putting these together. Does this need to go on the bottom? Does it go on the top? Where is it going to come into contact with the gantry to stop it? I'm going to think about this. It can't be on the inside because the gantry is going to roll up and down here. And our holes for bolting it together, so it's either got to be on the top or on the bottom. And that is a 50-50 split possibility. All right, this one has a metric rule on it on one side, which is, I'm going to say it's going to need to go up and over there. But which way does the micro switch need to go? I don't know. So let's look here So the gantry is going to be like that. There's got to be a connection. All right, I've read these instructions and they're not providing me enough detail. There. The only image that I can see clearly with that switch on it is actually on the box itself, and it shows it on the bottom in the right front up here. Alright, number one. Get our tools out. We got our belts, we got some zip ties, and our Allen heads and wrenches. Okay. I'm going to put this together upside down and backwards because that's the way it's going to be friendly to do. So this is the right side because the switch needs to be on the bottom. It's right side on the left and switch up. And flip that over. Those need to be on the outside, I think. Yeah, like that. And now alright, so you've got two holes in the end here, and when you have this in its proper position, it looks like it's going to go on the furthest back. So you're going toward the inside of the laser. So coming through. Now I would not tighten these screws down completely initially. You want to get them started, get them snug but not tight. You leave a little looseness to it because you're going to want to make sure this thing's square before you tighten everything up. Alright, now I want to make sure I got this right, so this needs to go down so I have the ruler facing up when I do get it back upright. And these pieces, one side is smooth, the other one has the holes in it. These holes, I'm assuming, are for the feet, and I'm placing those holes on the outer perimeter, and we'll see if that's right, because it does not say in the instructions. Alright, by standing that up on its end, it helps get it at the right height to start your screws, and just rotate that back flat, and snug those up. Again, don't tighten them yet. And now, let's see. Making sure she's square before I tighten them down. There's not much you're going to do in the way of squaring this up because there's really no adjustment. But I want to make sure that she's good before I put any torque on these. And you're also making sure that you're flush together between your two pieces, because that can rotate on that screw because there's only one screw holding it, not two. So we make sure that they're equal, they're flush. And you still don't want to over torque these, but you want them really good and snug. All right, now that's done. It says take out the X and Y, or take out the X-axis kit and embed it into the gantry along with the V slot and the Y-axis. All right, so this is the X-axis kit. Embed it into the gantry along with the V slot and the Y-axis. All right, you got your micro switch here, which has got to be over here. I don't really want to put the weight of it down on the table, but you got to put your gantry into play here. Now I like the fact that the wiring is all there and routed. None of the connections are made. You'll have to do that, but all right, let's see. How are you going to do this? Alright, now we're going to attach the motherboard to the front cover. There are two holes on the bottom of this to attach the motherboard. Okay, like so. Alright. So step 2 is 14 screws, but we only need 2 of them right now. Yeah. They're labeled nice, but not clear. All right, 2 screws. and the Allen wrench ain't long enough to get past the motherboard and turn your screw, so that's terrible. That started? Yeah, it started. All right. Whoa, Daddy-o. Alright, now the next step is to attach the feet and install them with using 8 of the 14 the 5mm 8 screws, M5 screws, and 4 of the T-nuts. So I got the T-nuts. I'm going to dump them out there. We're going to need all 4 of those. We're going to need 4 of the M5 by 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so 4 of them. And we're going to need our feet. Alright, so okay. Alright, so you're going to need to slide one of your T-nuts into the extrusion, and this is going to be fun. Alright, right now they've got their wiring loom pre-ran for you, but nothing is connected. So you're okay to move those stepper motors manually because you're not going to be generating any feedback by moving them around. So I just slid that out of the way, getting my laser head. I don't even know if that's showing on the camera. I'm off the table now. So now I can slide my T-nut into my extrusion. And since I had to go get my handy dandy tool, I'm going to use my screwdriver with the bit in it. Alright, so now which foot goes where? That goes just like that. Alright. So I'm going to start my T-nut first, as I can slide it around as need be. Alright, yes, that started. Alright. So I start that T-nut first because now I can slide that in place or around to get alignment there. If I started your fixed hole first, then you got to try and fish that T-nut in the right spot. That's aggravating. So this works good. All right, one. Again, start with your T-nut first. Needed 8 of those, not 4 of those. I messed up. It's 4 feet and 8 screws. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, repeat the process. We're going to slide our T-nut into the extrusion on both sides. And start the T-nut first. That one goes there, this one goes here. Okay, feet are on. Holding the gantry so she don't slide away from me. Flip her back over into upright position. Now, starting to look like a laser. Starting to. Alright, now the belts. Alright, take out 2 belts, put the belts through the 2 pulleys and the timing pulley and fix them with 2 screws and 2 M5 square nuts. Alright, so now step 5, you got more of these nuts, but these are slightly different. Now we got 2 belts and they are equal in length. So on your gantry, you have these black wheels that you're rolling on. You're going to have your belt go under that, and then use one of your Allen wrenches, a small one. Use the angle of it to be able to reach into that gantry and pull that up. Pull the belt up out of the gantry. And once you do, it's got to go up and over that timing wheel. and then you're going to put it back down under the next one. And it's actually easier to do that in reverse. Put the belt in the channel all the way out. Don't even worry about the timing gear first. Get her positioned about where you want her, about centered up there. And now, so the belt is on the bottom, but it's not across the top pulley. But by grabbing it, the belt close to those pulleys on the gantry and then push it in, that lifts that belt right up out of the way. Just grab it and now put it over that timing pulley and pull her down. Now that was easy. All right, so that's the trick to the belt. All right, so when routing your timing belt, just put it in place. Put it all the way down the gantry, put underneath it. And now once you've got it in place, grab the belt close to your gantry and start pushing toward each other. Push each end toward each other. And that's going to lift up a loop in the middle that you can easily grab, put into place, and put it right back down. Now that was easy. All right. So now we got our 4 nuts, and we need the last of the M5 8 screws. So we got 4 nuts and 4 screws. Now to get these into place, these will slide into your ends of your extrusion, but they can also be put into place and then twisted into place. And I'm going to see which way works best. This ain't working very well. I got little short fat fingers. Alright, so not sliding into place. So let's put it, and they have a contour to them. And I'm thinking that the contour goes against the belt. So I'm putting the contour down, sitting it right on top of the belt. And then I will, yeah, there we go. And that just twisted right into place. It didn't slide in, but lay it flat down on the belt. Get your belt kind of centered up where you got equal amount on either side. Actually, I'm going to pull my excess to the rear. And that way I can leave a little bit in the front so that if I need to pull it, grab it, I can. But the majority of my excess, I'm going out the rear. And now I will snug a screw down here in the first one. I'm not going to use that. I got my tool right here. I'm going to use it. All right, again, contour. The smooth side goes against the belt. Lay it right on top of the belt. And then just twist it into place. That's simple. I'm just getting that started, and now I'm going to pull her taut. Repeat the process. Actually, let's get the belt where I want her. This one's not cooperating. It's because I put it in upside down. You got to pay attention. Huh? Well, it's not turning because I had it on there upside down. All right, there we go. There. If you do it right, it works amazingly. All right. And I'm going to turn this one around. All right, contour side down, and it'll just spin into place with just a little bit of pressure. Start your screw and then pull she's tight. All right, Take out the 4 profile covers and install them on the profile and faces at the bottom and rear, faces at the front and the rear ends of the gantry. So the profile pieces is here. I'm pushing the belt up out of the way and pressing them in place. Step 7. Take out the laser module and remove the focus slider. Use 3 M3-6 nuts, then fix the laser module to the focus slider and install the focus slider along its original path. So this is your focus slider, and they want you to remove that. So those are going to have to come all the way out. Take out the laser module, remove the focus slider. Use 3 M3 6mm screws, then fix. Alright, there are no additional screws except what is this? Alright, that's step 3. Alright, so this is labeled wrong. Well, M3, that's 4 pieces. Alright, so the instructions say to use 3 screws. When you line it up with the potential placement, you actually have place for 4 screws, and they provided 4 screws. So why don't we use 4 screws? Those are labeled wrong. That's staying in step 3, and we don't use them until we get down to step 7. Alright, so it said there was 4. That one's got a different head on it. That one's conical seat, and these are pan head. So I'm using the 3 pan head because that one is a screw and not an Allen. I don't know what that's for yet. Not liking this focus part. There's 4 screws on this. Okay, connect the cables of the laser. Step 8, connect the cables of the laser module to the Y-axis limit switch, then attach the fixing mount to the right front foot. Alright, limit switch is attached. Got that one extra screw. I don't like that. I don't know what that goes to. It's a different screw than what's in the description. Maybe that's for this. Nope, that's adhesive. No, but we'll figure it out, or not. Alright, so that's done now. Alright, so this is going to go. All right, so put your cables in that little guide, and you can go, once you've got both cables in there, you can go ahead and snap her shut. There we go. Once that snaps shut, then you can pull your adhesive off, your backing, and that's going to stick to your front foot. Now connect the stepper motors. Now you want to use a minimal amount of movement as possible once you start connecting these stepper motors, because it's my understanding that they can actually generate feedback through to the motherboard and cause a potential problem. I know a few of the manufacturers say, oh, just move them where you want to go. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to move them using the computer. Alright, so those connected, that's connected. It is my understanding that nothing's powered up. Now, with them connected, you can move them by hand, but you should move them slowly. You shouldn't just grab them and move them around willy-nilly. Alright, I got one more to connect. Two more, a lot more to connect. Alright, where do you go? It's got to go to the laser. Yep. Alright. Alright, you got two connections on your laser module, and they're identical. They're not labeled in the instructions anywhere as far as which one goes where, colors, or anything like that. Your wires are different colors, but there is also a small sleeve on the one of each of the wires indicating what it's for. One of them says PWM, and in my case it's a yellow wire. And then the other one is labeled power, and it's a black wire. So I take a picture of the control module there, and I can see one of the prongs of 4 is labeled PWM. So we're going to take the one, and that's PWM is the one second from the front. So the one that's PWM, which is here, the yellow wire, it should be in the rear. But it won't be. Ground PWM. And the one that's labeled PWM is not going to go into that prong. We'll put that connector there anyway, even though it's the wrong wire, it's the right pair. Let's see what happens. Okay, now step 9, assembly completed. Our air supply is going to run down. Okay. Just a little bit of Dawn soap to lubricate that and get her into that rubber hose. A little bit of lubrication will go a long way. Let's get our table set up, power supplied, and see if this will turn on. Okay, so we're going to cut the video here. That was the complete assembly process. It did power up. It did come to life, and I did do my first test burns and test cuts, and that's going to be in the next video. There she sits. I've got the fully assembled Comgrow Z1 10 watt in my Comgrow enclosure, and the Comgrow Air Assist. And I'm going to tell you, I'm really pleased with what I've seen so far. This is, in my opinion, a step up from what I had been using. So if you're interested in knowing more about the Comgrow Z1 and the Comgrow Enclosure, I do have links in the comments below. I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next video showing the first test and the first cuts, along with some tips on how to use this Comgrow Z1 if you're using LightBurn. The Comgrow Z1 doesn't have a sighting LED, and I've seen people complain about, well, you can't really tell, you can't line up stuff, it's hard to... Actually, it's really simple. You don't need an LED if you're using LightBurn. And I'll show you how to configure your LightBurn with the Comgrow Z1 to make it an absolute walk in the park, a piece of cake, and not have any framing issues or alignment problems whatsoever. So I'm excited. I'm liking my Comgrow, and I appreciate you watching. Look for that next video to drop in the next day or so on the cuts and test, and I'll see you there. Till then, I'm Hobo with Wood, and I'm out.